Well, good evening. Ladies and gentlemen, it is PJ Net Live, in case you didn't catch that from the bumper that we just played. And we have standing by in the green room world famous blogger, award winning author, and overall most interesting person in the entire world, Dell Didway. And Dell is eager to go, and I can bring him in anytime I want to, but he has to wait on me. So, hey, Dell, good to see you all the way from Ohio. Dell, let's get into. I always know your blog's going to be good, but I never know what you're up to. It's football season, and I see this big picture of Tim Tebow in a baseball uniform. You wrote an article for Athletes in Action, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
It's
yeah,
not
they ran
not
it
your
today.
first, but yeah.
No, yeah, they ran it today, which was always exciting. They have a huge following, so it's always exciting when they put out something that I've been able to do. I am a contributor for Athletes in Action. I always enjoy them. They put out some great work, and so I told them a couple of months ago I had an exclusive with Tim, and they wanted something on it, so we submitted it. They ran it today. They ran it about the same time my blog posted, which is fine. I don't mind about that. The more exposure you can get, the better. So having your name associated with Tim Tebow is a win-win.
Well, there's so many things. How much time did you actually spend with Tim?
About 3.5 minutes.
And how much copy have you written?
Oh, a lot. So it took me like weeks of emails and phone calls to get to 3 minutes with him. But, and I just sent the piece actually to the man who was responsible for letting me spend time with him. So okay. to prove, hey, this is what I did. Next time around,
you delivered.
Yeah. So I lived up to my promise, and this is what I did, and I hope you like it. Share it with him, and he just responded with a little thumbs up. So let me preface this, and this isn't being discussed or anything, but if I have to bolt during the show, my wife are going to come in and relieve me because I am right in the middle of the cleansing process for colonoscopy. So I'm not even allowed to drink my hot chocolate. I'm drinking my water from my Yankees cup. And we'll be able to hopefully get through this next 18, 19 minutes.
We will consider it a providential hindrance, and we will gladly excuse you.
Yes.
And I tell you who I'd love to see fill in your place is Sophie. She is.
Yeah, I had to throw a picture of her and Joel in the blog, so they're always she's quite a character.
It's a parental privilege, I believe. There's executive privilege, and there is parental. Well, anyway.
Yeah.
Tim Tebow, heck of a guy.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
Heck of a good guy.
Yeah, he gets a lot of criticism, obviously, and the media, the mainstream media, likes to criticize and make fun. We've made this comparison. He kneels, and the media goes crazy with hatred. Yet Kaepernick kneels and he's a hero. Mm-hmm. Tim gets a lot of bad pub from them, and they kind of make fun of him a lot. But when he pulls into a stadium to play baseball, there's not a seat left, and that's why I think the Mets will eventually, by the end of the season, it's my opinion, will eventually pull him up to see how he does. To see, not necessarily, play well. He's a good ball player, as far as my opinion. Not a great, not bad, just a good ball player. But I think that's a business, and if he can draw in
tickets,
a few more thousand people, they're probably going to bring him up and kind of do a test run, and that'll be towards the end of the season, and just see how it goes.
Well, I'll tell you what, Tim Tebow did most of his good athletic work at the University of Florida. The what do they call them? The water lizards? No, the gators. The gators.
Yeah.
And he was such a big name. But it was funny to me when he went to pro ball, he had to learn how to throw a football because he had such a good line. At Florida, he would wind up, and he would use 5 acres of football field throwing the ball. He had to learn quarterback mechanics.
Yeah, he had to learn how to be in the pocket because he was a scrambler. But when it all boils down to, a quarterback's job is to win. and he never got that flashy rating, passer rating that all the teams want their quarterbacks to have. But when you go back and compare his win-loss record, it's astronomical. He won ball games, yet he was always being traded and looking for a job. When the bottom line, main goal of a quarterback is to win ball games, and he did that. He won a whole lot more than he lost.
I would venture to say when we compare him to colonoscopy, Copernic,
Colonoscopy, yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, twist the knife. I think Tim could get a job at the NFL if he wanted to, where the NFL paid what's his name $10 million to go away.
Yeah, Kaepernick had one or two good years, and because it was a good setting and a good fit for him. But since that, he's probably better than I am, but he wasn't cutting it as far as for one, what he brought, the baggage was a whole lot worse than what his winning was. So I guess he decided to part ways on that end. But Tim, everywhere he goes, draws a crowd. I mean, there were people at this little minor league stadium in Columbus, Ohio. The guy looks over at me, who's the head of the meeting. He goes, "We haven't had a crowd like this in years." And they were there to get Tim's autograph. And
Sure.
we were fortunate to get 3 minutes, just me and him. And again, I think I told you in the past, but all the media up there, the channel, all the big name television stations, they all didn't like me by the end of the day because I was the only one allowed an exclusive with him because of my persistence and presenting my case and doing my homework. And when I left, I had what nobody else there was able to get, and they all wanted a time alone with him.
Before we get into the blog, I just want to take a moment to acknowledge some people in the chat room.
It's exciting.
Becky Lindsay is here.
Awesome.
Canton Tweet is here. She has a new Twitter account, folks. If you'll scroll back in the chat, she has divided her account into two interests. Doug Carter is here.
Awesome.
Steve Hazards also, and Lori Metzger is with us. American refugee who, in the way of an announcement, will be one of our panelists at the Twitter Boot Camp right here at this very spot, 11 a.m. Eastern, Friday morning. Sunbelt Girl, our video hostess for the night, and Tammy from Georgia, our general PJ Net cheerleader. Del, many of the people that are here, I have to credit you with connecting me and them. It had to be a God thing, because I am not a writer, but you have introduced me to a whole new world. You blogged on it last week. So tell us about your blog this week. Thank you, Del. Thank you, all of you who have joined us, whether you're here to support Del or here for fellowship or whether you just feel sorry for me. I'll take it. Thank you.
We're all out there to help each other, and having Doug there and Tammy, Lori, and Becky. Becky just got back from a nice vacation, so we're happy she's back. And we all support each other, and this is exciting to keep watching this grow. Even one more each week is very encouraging, and eventually we're going to get it up there. But the blog this week we had to do with Paul Peterson. For those folks a little older than I, they might remember that name. He played on the Donna Reed Show, which went off the air right the same year I was born. But he told me that now how he's kind of been not blacklisted from Hollywood, but because of his age. But what he started doing back in 1990, when some of his childhood co-stars that he grew up with started committing suicide and having problems. So he founded this organization that helps child stars to, once they're out of that glamorous life of a Hollywood actor or actress, adjust to life and help them recover, help them to lead a normal life. And he also said some of these child stars back in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, wouldn't even get paid. He said Hollywood treats animals better than they treat children.
Well, it's interesting. I found that because technically, legally, okay, for example, if you go as a minor to a bank to open a bank account, they'll say no. Here in Florida, a contract with a minor is binding on the adult, but not binding on the minor. Therefore, Nobody wants a contract with a minor. I don't know how state laws differ, but it's an interesting scenario when you are hiring a minor and the stakes are as high as they are, how they get paid, but they have twisted that into a form of exploitation.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's what his organization does. It's called a minor, oh my gosh, I had lost the word.
Minor consideration.
Minor, thank you. I've got other things on my mind right now.
You reckon?
So a minor, yeah, a minor consideration. So he's very passionate about it. He and his wife, we sat there for several minutes and talked. I was more intrigued at how a Hollywood couple has stayed together for 30 years. I know he's had two other wives in the past, but that in itself is an accomplishment for anybody out in that part of the woods. So he's very passionate. He told me that some of the names I recognized growing up and kind of watched, not a lot of watching, but I did watch different strokes occasionally. And he said how some of those kids on those shows really hit rock bottom. Where Todd Bridges, one of the stars, was on. He was in jail on attempted murder charges. Dana Plato was about to be arrested. Gary Coleman was basically bankrupt because his parents were taking what money he had. And he helped all these kids, recover and, help them to lead a normal life outside of the Hollywood glamour. So what he's doing, he said they've helped thousands of children, or now adults who are children.
Well, you may not have even realized, and many people might just read that phrase, minor consideration, is two words. First, minor, meaning under adult age. Consideration is one of the 5 elements essential to a valid contract. If you will read the opening phrase of a contract will always say, for and in consideration of. Consideration, that means that there's a meaning of the mind. Anyway, that word was not randomly chosen, and it doesn't mean what you may think it means.
Right. Well, it's something I want to point out to folks listening who read it. I didn't mean anything in there if somebody took offense to that, because what he had mentioned was something I kind of agreed with, but I also understand what's going on today. Is that he said back when he was growing up, he said mom was home, and he said life was great, life was simple. I remember that my mom stayed home because for one, she had an accident when I was little, but she stayed home. And I know today, and back in the 80s, 90s, people like to work, and my wife enjoys working. So I don't mean that to come across if somebody took that in a chauvinistic way, that the woman's place is in the home, which is not. It's just how society has changed and how we put more demands on things, which is we have lots of things, good things too, but it would all seem a little easier in the world if somebody was home. Whether it be,
well,
I would love to have stayed home when I was. So
let me put your mind at ease. I have
raise kids.
I have a sociology degree from the People's Republic of Florida State University, and here's the deal: as women enter the workforce, and this is a positive thing because there were some inequities there that needed to be addressed. Well, obviously, if you put the woman in the workplace, there's going to be some collateral damage. Okay, but let me tell you something. The Industrial Revolution did more to wreck the American family than women entering the workforce. There was a day,
Right.
Dale, you and I didn't live it, but there was a day when son worked with dad on the farm, okay? But then the Industrial Revolution put dad at the factory downtown, leaving much of the parenting burden on the mother. Well, there's going to be a sociological impact anytime you change that. But I will say this in defense of family. Family, and I was going to comment on your blog, but I just got busy. And I need to shut up and let you talk. But first, let me make this point. What was the first institution created by God?
Yeah.
Family. The very first. Some 400 years before God instituted the church, he instituted the family. That is the fundamental building block of society. And the more we deviate from that, the more problems we're going to have. I'll let you talk because I need some coffee.
And I think that's one of the main objects of destruction from the forces of evil, from devil, is the breakup of the family, whether it's through divorce or through some type of a tragedy or just through neglect, where you have all these computer games where kids are playing them, and that takes away from conversations people have as family. And there is no such thing anymore as sitting around the dinner table. We're fortunate enough that we every Sunday we sit around at Angie's parents' house and
Mm-hmm.
with her siblings, and I think that's rare anymore to do that. And I think it's a great institution. I was one of four boys. We're always playing sports. So if we ever had a chance to sit down as a family, it was rare because we were always gone too. So um, yeah, the family's got to stay strong. We're trying to teach that to our boys, and now their kids, and now our grandkids. So um, the family's the strongest unit out there right now.
Dale, we are approaching football season. I can't wait. But the
Yeah.
sad, and you have a book about that. Would you happen to have one handy
Somewhere, and it's
somewhere?
first down devotions, inspirations from NFL's best. I'm gonna start. Let's see, I have a busy week. Tomorrow I'll be preoccupied in the hospital,
Mhm.
but Thursday I'm heading down to Cincinnati. Going to the preseason game. We'll start my Bengal runs, and there's a lot of folks on the New York Giants I want to talk to for volumes 2 and possibly volume 3. And then we'll be going down there quite a bit. And then we're packing up and heading to Nashville, Tennessee over the weekend to go to the Christian Product Expo, which is an international book show. We'll be signing probably about 100 books at that event. We'll be having dinner with Michelle probably Saturday night and Bethany. So we're looking forward to that.
Wow. One of the sad things, as much as I love football, first of all, I don't watch the NFL anymore. I don't really watch much of anything. I'm here and doing this, but it grieves me when you see the kids outside playing football and Dad is on the easy chair watching football. What an opportunity missed, folks. Dad, get off your hind parts and get out there and toss the football with the boys.
The boys,
Yeah, please. It's great. Well, Dale, listen, we're gonna let you go a little bit early tonight. Well,
Thank you.
that was no pun intended.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Nothing holds back Niagara Falls, I guess, right?
but listen, Dale, your dedication and faithfulness. By the way, Rachel Colby joined us in the
Awesome.
chat room, and good to have her with us tonight. And again, Dale, thank you for introducing me to a whole new world of wonderful Christian brothers and sisters. And we're not done. We're just getting started. Dale, appreciate your sacrifice. You love it. Come on.
Yeah, I do. I always enjoy it. And, I thought about maybe we could take a camera tomorrow and possibly do a blog about about my experiences tomorrow, but we'll probably use better judgment on that.
Hopefully, have you told your wife about that? She'll fix it. Okay, no problem. Hey, Dale, listen, good to see you tonight. Thank you so much. And hey, let's do this again. I don't know, sometime about this time next week. What do you say?
We'll be here, and we'll also try to jump on Friday.
There you go. Come on in, and I'll have a
Awesome.
few words to say about that. In fact, how about right now? Thank you, Dale.
Thanks.
All right. Well, folks, if you didn't hear already, at the suggestion of Lori Metzger, I want to give her a shout out. PJNet has organized Friday at 11 a.m. right here at this spot a Twitter boot camp. One of the takeaways from the North Carolina Christian Writers Conference was that authors, if they wish to get the attention of publishers, need to have platform. Well, folks, we will have a panel of some of the most powerful, influential Twitter voices right here, and one of them is in our chat room right now. American Refugee. Refugee, put in there how many followers you've got. He will be one of our panelists. Jay Steins 3 with some 160,000 followers. Sunbelt Girl may even weigh in. When she first came here, a long time ago, she had in the vicinity of 600 followers and had never composed a tweet of her own. She only retweeted others. And today she is up in the 60,000 range. I've got about 46,000. Folks, we are going to have first some guiding principles on what to do. It should guide your every decision on how to follow, how to unfollow, who to follow, and we will help you avoid the pitfalls, the minefield that is set for you We will deal with subjects like, what do you do when a troll makes a comment on one of your good posts that is off topic and off color? What should you do? We will go on how and when to block people. How, not only who to follow, how to find who to follow, and how, just what not to do and what to do. It's going to be, I don't even know how long it will last. I hope to get Glenn Terrell involved also from Texas. But in any event, we've got a super panel right now, and we encourage all of the Christian authors that you may know. You may want to give them a shake and let them know if they have a laptop or a desktop or even an iPad. This doesn't work that good on a mobile phone, folks. So we're working on that, but I'm too busy. Well, anyway. So we want you to get off to a great start, and we want to familiarize you with some of the Twitter rules that are, in fact, the headwind that we're running against. This is kind of a rigged game, folks, and how to stay, get this, under the radar. Okay? A lot of the things that you're tempted to do will get you in trouble, perhaps even get your account suspended, and many of the rules, you would think they are unreasonable. And the reason you would think that is, well, they're unreasonable. Okay, so hope you'll make your plans to be here. Tomorrow is Michelle Medlock Adams. We are also in touch with a special guest, possibly, for Thursday night, who Rachel something Ministries. I can't recall her name right offhand. But she was planning to be here last week on Thursday, but could not, and we're trying to rearrange. Folks, we've got Friday American Refugee. Every night, chances are there's something going on right here. This venue is open 24 hours a day. If you have a blog or you would like to post a link to your inspirational and uplifting content, please feel free to log into the chat room anytime and post a link. And folks, when you see those links, follow them. Because we're not just a team, we're a family right here on PJNet Live.